Why doesn't America watch Formula One? I don't know. That's what we're going to find out today. That's the video we're reacting to. The F1 is in America right now. The race is going to happen in a couple of hours. I hope some of you guys are going to tune in. But if not, we're going to find out why you're not tuning in. Why aren't you? Let's jump in, dive in, subscribe to my channel. Let's go.
Can you guess how many episodes of The Simpsons have aired since the last time an American won a Formula
All of
1
them?
race?
The whole lot?
All of them. Every single episode. In that time, the Berlin Wall has fallen down. J.K. Rowling wrote all 7 Harry Potter books, and the UK and Germany won a combined 22 F1 Drivers' World Championships. F1 itself grew to become one of the most popular sports in the world. But there's one nation of motorsport lovers that F1 has consistently struggled to win over: the US.
This video is a couple of years old. It has got better since this video was released, mainly due to Drive to Survive, I guess.
Obviously, the Formula One group wants to change that.
And the Miami race,
has made
and the
it their
Vegas
aim
race.
to conquer the US. But how does a sport with minimal links to America compete with the likes of IndyCar, NASCAR, and baseball?
I'm making a good
Welcome
TV
to
show.
Athletic Interest. In this video, we learn how Formula One is planning to take over America and whether the key to success lies in rediscovering an American F1 driver.
I'll tell you one thing, the answer isn't Logan Sargent.
Liberty Media, the American media company which purchased
Colton
F1
Herta in
in
a car.
2017, has been on a relentless push to make the sport popular in the US. In the words of their CEO, "Our strategy in the future will be to be more present in the US. It's a work in progress, but I can guarantee to you there is now big interest in the USA with Formula One." F1 is certainly a lot more popular than it used to be, but there were times when most Americans thought Formula One was a special brand of baby food. Liberty Media's strategy for winning over the American audience can be
That's when you know your marketing's been bad in America. That's bad.
condensed into one simple phrase: the more you know, the more you enjoy. Formula One understands that as viewers consume the races, they are constantly developing the knowledge of the sport. The deeper we invest ourselves intellectually and emotionally, the greater levels of enjoyment we receive from watching the races.
And I can relate to that personally. If you've been watching my channel a while, watching NFL videos and learning about the characters behind the game and like the tactics involved and stuff, it does increase your enjoyment of the game. Before, I never knew what I was watching. I was just watching big guys run into each other at 100 miles per hour. Now I know what's going on a bit more behind the scenes. It's way more enjoyable, so I get that.
If you have no knowledge of Formula One, you might switch off after a few minutes of watching someone drive around in an oversized can of Red Bull.
Shut up!
If you are already aware of how tire strategies, weather conditions, and inter-driver rivalries can dramatically alter the outcome of the race, you might stick around and see what happens. Formula One has developed a number of tools to help educate Americans about the sport and trigger their desire to consume the races. Liberty Media transformed Formula One into the fastest growing sport on social media. Through post-race analysis, interviews, highlights, and technical breakdowns, F1 is providing millions of potential fans with access to a crash course in everything they could possibly want to know. If you are someone who loves watching documentaries and continuously talking about them with vaguely interested friends, Formula One has you covered. The Drive to Survive series, produced by Netflix, is a massive hit across the globe and has proven to be incredibly effective at creating new fans for the sport.
Agreed. This is the most effective thing that's happened, in my opinion. Not just in America, around the whole world. Like, my parents started watching it. I had friends who have never watched Formula One in their life watch this series and then fully dive into Formula One. So this is the most successful thing, easily.
The series makes the sport very accessible and gives everyone entertaining insights into how F1 actually works. For example, the complex and often ruthless driver transfer market, known as the silly season, is explained using intimate interviews with at-risk driver Nico Hülkenberg and shadowing his daily life as he tries to secure a seat for the following season.
You can be lucky I had my first coffee, otherwise you'd be right out the window.
Another way of winning over new fans is to bring the action directly to their doorstep. Liberty Media are keen to boost American exposure to Formula One by hosting a greater number of races in the US. Since 2012, the only US Grand Prix has been held at the Circuit of the Americas in Austin, Texas. The 2012 US Grand Prix was the first in 4 years. This hiatus was triggered by a decline in interest, coupled with the fact that the crowd at the 2005 Grand Prix at Indianapolis spent most of the race booing.
What?
A second US Grand Prix at the Miami Hard Rock Circuit has finally been added to the 2022 calendar.
This one popped off
This
though,
was not a
right?
simple achievement. Numerous plans to find a second race in the US failed, and the Miami
I hate this track though, I'm not going to lie guys, it's a horrible track. If you've ever played the game, I've got the wheel and the full setup here. It's a horrible track to drive, I just don't like it. But it pops off. Miami's a hotspot right now in America, isn't it? It is proper popping off for sports into Miami, the F1. It's just a bit of a hotspot there.
project was met with a furious backlash from locals. At the end of the day, it is still a success, and a good sign for the future of F1 in America. Races on site are one thing, but the really big audiences are only reached via broadcasts. When Liberty Media took over F1, they decided to throw away a $40 million 5-year contract with NBC. Why? Because they were launching their own subscription-based streaming service. In essence, F1 wanted to be in competition with the TV stations that were paying them millions. Unsurprisingly, NBC rejected this deal. In response, Liberty Media gave the rights to ESPN for free and launched F1 TV. F1 understands that viewers are more likely to consume free content and use ESPN to give fans an entry point into the sport. Once hooked and pumped full of information using the tools mentioned
Like a
before,
drug.
fans are given the opportunity to purchase a subscription to F1 TV to gain access to exclusive information not shown through the live broadcast, including unique camera angles, exclusive data, and non-stop team driver radio communications.
The engine feels good, much slower than before. Amazing.
Adding a greater number of tracks and boosting engagement through education are effective strategies. But one of the underlying reasons why F1 has struggled in America is the lack of a US driver. Would an American F1 driver boost the popularity of the sport in the US?
Only if he's good, because if there's one thing I've learned about Americans is you don't like being bad at things, which is a great trait to have. And the American driver in F1 right now is struggling. Logan Sargent is struggling. He's not racing for a good team, to be fair to him. But he's also not doing himself any favours. If they had a guy like Colton Herta in at McLaren, then people would be way more interested, I imagine. You know what I mean?
There is plenty
Let me know
of
if you agree
evidence
with
to
that.
suggest a positive response to this question. Christian Pulisic and Yao Ming are perfect examples of how national heroes can almost instantly boost sports appeal in their home nations. When Christian Pulisic joined Chelsea in 2019, the Premier League
What is
saw an
this stock
instant
footage?
boost in their US fan base. Pulisic's debut for Chelsea against Manchester United set an NBC record for the most US viewers of a football match. Even more astonishingly, over the 2019-2020 season, Pulisic sold more replica shirts in the US than Cristiano Ronaldo.
That's mad. I
Probably
didn't know
even
that.
more impressive is the impact that Yao Ming had on the NBA's popularity in China. After joining the Houston Rockets in 2002, becoming an 8-time NBA All-Star, there are now over 600 million Chinese basketball fans, and China is considered to be the NBA's largest international market. But does it also work in Formula One?
I mean, I just want to dive in again here. The one problem Formula One's going to have right now, because this video is a couple of years old, right, is I feel like Drive to Survive put it on this like rocket ship trajectory of popularity. Combine that with the season like a couple of years ago where it was Lewis Hamilton, Max Verstappen, Abu Dhabi controversy. It was like at a peak and it got all these new fans. And then the last 2 years have just been boring, man. Max is too good. He's just been dominating with Red Bull. And it's been 2 boring seasons. Even me, I watch pretty much every race. There's some races where I get like 20, 30 laps in and I'm not even paying attention anymore. I'm just on my phone, basically on Twitter, watching other people complain about how boring the race is. So it is a bit of a shame, the timing of Red Bull's dominance right now. It's a big shame because it's come at the
Take
worst
the case
possible
of
time.
Robert Kubica. His return to the sport in 2019 saw viewing figures in Poland increase by 256%. Or the case
Of course, it's
of
like
Max
Alonso
Verstappen.
in Spain,
The sport has
Perez
seen
in
a
Mexico.
30% uplift in Dutch fans across all demographics. An incredible 2 million Dutch people tuned in to watch Verstappen's victory in Mexico. That's 11% of the entire population.
Mad.
an American driver would be the perfect hook for potential fans who don't know enough about F1 to fall in love with the sport. But even without an American driver, does the strategy of boosting US support by educating potential fans work? Since 2017, Liberty Media has overseen a gradual increase in the popularity of F1, and TV figures are also speeding ahead. In the 2021 season, viewing figures are reported to have topped 1 million. But the much celebrated 1 million viewers has room for improvement when compared to the Premier League. NBC has suggested that close to 10 million Americans watch Premier League football, and big matches with the likes of Manchester United and Chelsea can claim over 1 million viewers. However, only 10,000 people signed up for F1 TV in the first year, but Liberty is playing the long game. Morgan Stanley predicts that close to 250,000 Americans will sign up to F1 TV by 2027. And there are opportunities for much larger growth, with close rivals IndyCar boasting over 69 million fans across the country. But this also shows that F1 is attempting to break into a competitive market and win over viewers who have grown up with a motorsport culture that doesn't automatically feel at home in Monaco or Azerbaijan. Liberty Media's current strategy has proven to be relatively successful, but the sport has a long way to go before it challenges the likes of IndyCar or the Premier League.
What about NASCAR?
Formula One's future in the US would be given a massive boost with the introduction of an American driver. But that's easier said than done, with a country desperate for greater investment into its karting infrastructure if it ever hopes to produce a world champion again. You want the American F1 experience, but you are not living in the US? Then you should check out our videos.
Okay, guys, there we have it. Let me know if you are an F1 fan, and if you're not, what is it that has not made you want to dive in? Is it the competitiveness compared to like IndyCar? Because I get why IndyCar is so popular, because anyone can win any race, which can't really happen in F1. Is it that? Is it that you just don't know enough about it? Is it the time differences when there's European races or races in Abu Dhabi? Let me know down below why you don't watch it, or if you do watch it, let me know when you started watching it and what was the reason that you got into it. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'll see you for the next one. Take it easy. Peace.